The whole idea here is to become a media company. And Bill Gates said in the 90s that every company is going to become a media company. And the more you can do that, the better. If you look at Patrick Bet-David, he does insurance, but he has a reaction show, he does a podcast and all that. He's not talking about his business too much, right? The whole idea here is that you're creating content out there, and the content will, instead of you having to push all the time, it's going to pull people into you, and then you can decide who you want to serve that way, right?
I don't get it. What is he trying to say? Like, I know some of our content is just kind of like, hey, out of context, but he's making a video specifically about this thing about Patrick Bet-David and whatever his name is, and Bill Gates. First of all, Bill Gates may have said it, but let's be honest, like our man Gary V, he's the one that made that famous about, hey, we're all media companies. But he's not saying anything new. Dude, get out of your living room.
And he said a really intelligent line. He said, business is just other people's money. That's all business is. I want to start a business. So you want other people's money. So how are they going to give it to you? You have to think about it. Yeah. And you'll end up with...
Well, there's two different ways to look at it. There's the content delivery mechanism, which is, you know, I'm sure Wi-Fi, money.ecom, whatever that is, obviously not the top G. He's just extracting content from somebody else, throwing on a stupid video of a boat, and he's able to make an 8-second video. What got like what? How many billions of views?
Millions, yeah.
100.
A lot of views.
But the messaging is accurate. Yeah, business is other people's money, but I think that's a little dumbed down version of it. I think the biggest lesson I've had in my business is learning that money is just a hammer. You know, when you're growing up blue collar, it's like, ooh, money's this thing. I got to have the money. I want to have money. But then when you have money, it's just like, oh, it's just a hammer. It's just a bigger hammer. It's just a tool. So, like, if you could detach your mindset of money as just like, oh, I got to have it, to it's just a hammer, then it's a little bit, I think you have a little bit more healthy relationship with money. But, yeah.
My girlfriend, she's going to college right now, and I had a call with her because I knew this conversation was coming up, and the conversation was like, hey, by the way, I don't want you to work. Like, I want you to stay home. And like hobbies and stuff, absolutely. Keep yourself sane, but I want you to kind of be home with me and stick with the kids and raise the kids. I don't want you leaving at 9 a.m. and coming back at 5 to go work for like a corporate job. And she said, I'm so happy and thankful that you're the type of man that wants to work hard so that I don't have to. She said those words to me, and like, bro, I melted. I was like, oh my God, that's like music, bro. Yeah. That's the best thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Because so many guys want to work hard so that they can provide, so that the girl can stay home, and they don't want the girl or whatever, you know, like they want to be needed. They want to be the man, I feel like, or maybe that's just me. Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, and she said that, and I was like, you have no idea how many girls would say the absolute opposite, that they would never admit something like that, or they just wouldn't feel like that. They want to do their own thing.
Okay, I have a visceral reaction to this because this is the most beta I've ever seen in my life. First of all, you don't, for a 9-to-5 corporate job, you're going to be fired if you leave your house at 9 and come back at 5. That means you're working less than 8 hours. 9 to 5 is, you got to leave your house at like 7:45 and get there at 8:45 and not have lunch and then leave at 5, whatever. Watch another TikTok about that. But dude, have some. I think this is made up. I don't think that's real because that guy doesn't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, this is our boy Sebastian. I'm going to show you a few of his.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
If you're a guy in your 20s and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself as to why you don't have a Lambo. I realize now that it's so incredibly easy and there's so much money out there, and 200 grand, especially now with AI tools that you can leverage, 200 grand is chump change. And people will say I'm out of touch with reality and they can suck it because it's just not true. I've seen a lot now and I'm like, okay, so 200K is literally pocket change. If you're a guy you're in your 20s watching this and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should sit down and you should have a serious discussion.
So here's the thing is, on one hand, he's not too off the mark, but it's not a in your 20s thing. You have to get experiences. You have to learn the game. You have to learn business. You have to build the relationships to be able to do the things that he's talking about. I think he's full of like being in your 20s and just having a Lamborghini. Yeah, it's called having rich parents or having rich connections or all that. Because even if a rich kid was a self-starter and made themselves, okay, what connections did you have? Which school did you go to? Did you go to Harvard and automatically get hit up with all these people? But he's a fucking, I can't.
Or you just spend
ridiculous.
all your money on a lease.
Yeah, it's like, lease. Oh, fine. You leased a car. Woo. Do you still live in a trailer?
Right.
One of the best memes out there is like seeing like a Bugatti next to a trailer. Wow, dude. ugh.
There was one line that did it for me. I read it on Twitter many years ago. And it was, when you're watching porn, you're literally being off to the idea of another male banging the girl that you desire. And that is the most cuck thing that you could possibly do. And I was like, my pride, I
when
was
you're
like,
about to go
dude.
look it up, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this.
I couldn't do it anymore after that. I was like, okay, I have too much pride. Like, I respect myself.
I got to go get it myself.
I can't do it, man. So I gave it up.
Again, is this the same guy? For the
Same.
video
I
before?
just wanted you
Yeah,
to get a little picture.
He's an idiot. I hate this human being. It's like, you're a cuck. It's like, first of all, like you already proved you don't have pride. Like with the videos we've seen, you have no pride. So shut up.
I don't play video games. I don't really drink. I don't watch porn. I don't really usually have sugary foods. I eat very healthy. So there's like a lot of areas where I restrict my dopamine. I think that it just makes the normal things in life a lot more enjoyable.
So what he's saying, all that stuff he's saying is healthy. Like, obviously, I'm overweight, whatever. I like the sugars, whatever. But, like, going to the gym, not eating sugars, restricting your diet, not watching porn, those are all healthy things. But you know what's not healthy? Judging other people and being full of shit.
If I had $0 and zero income, I'd get like a sales job where my performance could make me more money, and then I would start drop shipping again. I would also start an agency too. Like these are all things that I do. I would probably do drop shipping and do an agency both combined and just build up as much capital as I probably can. Ultimately, I would do those two things until I had about 300K saved up, and then I would build a house. If you did it right, that'd get you to $1 million. That's what I'm doing right now. The house I'm building, I'll make over $1 million
First, what you
profit.
do is you buy your Lambo, because if you're in your 20s, you don't have a Lamborghini, you're a loser. He's not wrong. Yeah, if you want the most money and you have the personality for it, sales. Sales is the way to go. The thing that I'm a little hesitant on his messaging is the thing we joked about earlier with Sohail is drop shipping. You want to make $1 million? Drop shipping. What the fuck does that even mean?
Your 20s or 30s and not making at least $10,000 a month, stop scrolling.
OnlyFans.
I'm 24 years old and I own a 6-figure business. I'm going to let you know my story and how I started my 6-figure business. Back in 2020, I was working 3 jobs and I would walk to one job to the next. It was so overwhelming and I didn't have any time for myself and I didn't even make ends meet. I was struggling to pay bills every single month. I had heard about rental arbitrage and decided to give it a try. I had always dreamed of starting my own business. If you don't know what Airbnb arbitrage is, it's where you sublease a property from a landlord and rent it short term on platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo and make a profit. I started my rental arbitrage journey in March 2021, and 9 months later, I've amassed a portfolio of 7 properties, earning almost over $500,000 in revenue.
So here's the thing is, she's not wrong, but at the same time, there's a lot of risk in rental arbitrage. Case in point, New York City just 2 days ago, where they're banning Airbnbs. Now, if you're on the hook and you have 7 properties in New York and you are no longer able to have Airbnb, guess what? You have 7 properties that aren't producing income and you're on the hook for that. You're absolutely screwed. Now, is rental arbitrage a way to make money? Absolutely. Is it the best way to make money? You know what? There's no such thing. Just go out and do what you got to do.
At 20 years old, how did you even get all these Airbnbs? What's the deal?
Corporate leasing. So we use the arbitrage method where we, contact a landlord or like a property management company, and then we ask for permission to put that house on Airbnb.
When did you guys get your first one? How old were you?
19. So
19.
She was 19.
Yeah.
Wow. So what sparked you to even do it? You just saw it on YouTube or something? You're like, I'm going to try it.
So my brother, he was like, do Airbnb. I don't know much about it, but you guys should try it. And at the time, I was like always been like a big reader. So I kind of got this book, Optimize My B&B, and I read about it and just took it from there.
We were trying everything. Like we did drop shipping. We were trading options. I was like nannying. I was doing cosmetology. So I did like nails, brows, like everything just self-taught. We were just trying to figure out like what we could do in the entrepreneurship space. And then when his brother was like, look into Airbnb, like I heard a lot of people have been making money from it. We decided to like, okay, let's just try it and go for it. And we got our first unit. That one we did under a personal lease. And then from there we realized like the right way to do it. And we got our LLC and got all of the rest of our Airbnbs under our corporate lease.
Yeah, that's great. Like I know Ryan Pineda and he's not going to be talking to idiots. So clearly they're doing it right. Now from the arbitrage side, is that the best method? Again, they're doing it right. What I like about what they had to say is they didn't get caught up in the analysis paralysis. They took a leap. They took a jump. What I did think was funny was the theme that we've been talking about is the drop shipping. They tried it like, oh, this is, okay, moved on. Real estate is one of the best ways to make money. There's different, real estate is a vast ocean of possibilities. So them being able to do rental arbitrage, it works, but just got to be careful with it. Sounds like they are being careful and they are being a little bit more intentional with their actions.
Bug School. I had a kid DM me today on Instagram, bro. I'll read it to you guys. It says, "Hi Luke, I've been watching a lot of your videos. As you're an entrepreneur, I thought I would see if it's a good question to ask you. I'm a subscriber to your channel." It says, "I'm 15 years old, going into 16, and I'm currently generating $3K a month from my agency. When do you think it's the right point to leave school?" At the bottom, he says,
There's a lot of talk about
"Or
agencies.
should I focus on my exams?" Why the fuck would you focus on your exams, bro? Go scale that business from 3 to 6. Do the exact same thing you were doing, just double it. Very simple, just double what you already done. Whether it's output of work, whether it's doubling your clients, whatever. Do
So
that shit.
I already kind of know what he's going to go into, but one, I have a problem with an adult talking to a 15-year-old. That's kind of weird. What do they call it? Sus? No, I'm just kidding. I had this conversation with somebody actually yesterday at lunch. It's, if you are happy and you want that $50,000 to $300,000 a year for the rest of your life, school is the way to go. Get a job and you have that safety. If that's the range you want to be in, but you want that safety net, and that's where you're going to be, definitely go to school, finish school. I believe he's probably talking about high school, but let's open it up to college because I don't like talking about kids at all. So let's just talk about college.
But it's crazy. He is talking about high school.
Yeah,
but you can talk about high school kids dropping out of school for having an agency. Agency models are not.
It's ridiculous because things change so quickly. Also, AI, all these things, these mechanisms. There's a reason here at Harper Belmont we're kind of trying to get away from social media. It's because there's a race to the bottom. And the reason there's a race to the bottom is because you have 15-year-olds who are going to offer services for $500 that would normally cost a larger scale agency $5,000 to $10,000. So when there's a race to the bottom, go the different direction. If you want to have security, stay in school. If you want the life of an entrepreneur where you're either going to make $0 or $10 million, maybe not. College is not the way to go. But high school, finish high school, bro.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought. It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe you've seen my...
Okay, this guy is a masterclass on fake it till you make it and you're full of shit wrapped into one. He leased that vehicle. Maybe he bought it nowadays, but in his first original videos, what he would do is he would lease the Lambo. I mean, look at the garage door in that video. That is not a luxury garage door. That's a garage door that you see at my house. It's just a basic garage door. If you've been to a luxury home, have you seen those garage doors? Usually luxury home garage doors are more expensive than your typical home itself. So he's full of shit. Fake it till you make it. But guess what? It worked for him. But reading is good.
2 words. Entrepreneurship.
Accurate.
It's not called living with your parents if you pay them rent. Are me and Ty Lopez boys? Did you get my Venmo, Dad? Good, I didn't send it. Ty Lopez parks in my garage. Me? A drinking problem? It's called networking. So what if I don't know how to spell entrepreneur? You know what I do know how to spell? Tesla. TESTLAW.
I actually
Being
like
broke
his
is a
humor. He's
mindset.
funny.
My girlfriend's also an entrepreneur. She sells vitamins and supplements. Keyword sells. GNC. You heard of it?
What he really means is OnlyFans.
I mean, the Girl Scouts, their business model is outdated. TESLAW.
So
Note, is it
basically what he's pointing out is all these videos that we've been reacting to, like actually the ones we've been doing are fine, but like what he's pointing out is the stereotypical TikTok influencer, like that one dude who was like, if you don't have a Lambo in your 20s, blah, 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 that's what he should have been doing this because that's what he's making fun of. Little idiots like that. I love that guy, though.
A classic like inverse proportion of like rate to work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
the lower you get paid, the more hours you're going to work.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It always works out that way.
Yeah.
At what point did you start negotiating your own rate?
Probably not that long ago. Like, honestly, this kind of goes back to like, I wish I had come up underneath somebody because like I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I shudder to think honestly how long I went without realizing that you could like negotiate your rate and like, you know, per diem or
Yeah,
like
I love
kit
shitty
rental.
rigs.
I mean, I
Like
just
they
didn't
started
know
this
any of that,
podcast
you
where
know,
they're
at all.
talking, you know, and I think it's giving really good insight into the actual behind the scenes of filmmaking. You know, because all we really see is the actor strike, the writer strike. But let's be honest, the people that make these beautiful works of art, it's the gaffers, it's the crew, it's all the people behind the scenes that get treated like shit, that get paid like shit. But if you don't follow Shitty Rigs, it's an amazing, even if you're not in the industry, it's really cool just because literally it's shitty rigs and they show how you duct tape stuff together to make it work.
Asking what crazy home owners do for a living.
I just wanted to ask, what do you do for a living?
Bro, Austin, Texas, and you're knocking on strangers' doors? Are you insane? We have guns here, man.
Packers for 7 years.
Are you serious?
But now I'm starting my own energy efficient home building company.
No kidding. That's an awesome pivot, man. Good for you. Thank you so much.
I love seeing like the NFL player guys who are stereotypically athletes and they dropped out of school to become athletes, and when they become doctors, become engineers, become entrepreneurs, I love seeing that because it breaks like the mainstream media brain of what an athlete is. It's great.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in the pharmaceutical industry and my husband's in logistics.
Pharmaceuticals and logistics, they're the cartel.
What do you do for a living?
I own a company called Technovision.
No way. What is that?
It's in IT solutions and services.
Okay. Wow. Amazing. That's all I wanted to know.
Look, I know this is just a fun little stupid video, but there's a thing here that you see on TikTok. When did it become okay to like get in people's space and just like come up on them, like whether they're walking down the street or up to their car or up to their house? Again, this is Texas. If those were real Texans, they would have shot them. You know, they're clearly California expats or like that one family cartel.
The difference between rich and wealthy. This is rich Jay-Z. He has the chains, the icy watch, and the expensive shoes. His net worth in this picture, around $200 million. This is wealthy and current Jay-Z. Net worth, $1 billion. This is rich 21 Savage. Net worth, $9 million. Now this is wealthy 21 Savage. He even said it himself. I don't buy jewelry or stuff like that anymore. None of the richest people that I know ever show off. The difference.
I mean, it's so true, but I think it also comes with age. You know, I think it's an age thing, less about rich or wealthy. I think it's like anything, old money versus new money. You just grow out. You're like, I mean, when I was younger, I liked cool stuff. Now, the only thing I really buy is shit for the studio.
Resenting the rich or hating the rich is really disgusting. And
Baby, when we say eat the rich or that we don't like the rich, it's not because they're rich. We're not jealous. We're not insecure. We're mad about the way rich people, the 1%, exploit, use, abuse, and manipulate people, the working class, in order to gain that level of wealth. We're not mad at David down the street with the big house. We're mad at people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk who hoard wealth and exploit their workers. We are mad about the unethical ways that people become billionaires. Because let me tell you something, Rihanna, there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. And no one works hard enough to actually be a billionaire.
I don't know how to react to that. Because on one hand, you've got this young, attractive white female who's probably never had a single ounce of non-privilege in her life, like adversity or whatever. And she's talking about how the billionaires are, look at Apple and how they exploit like the Chinese workers. Yeah, completely valid. But for her to be calling, oh, that's not possible for a billionaire to, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. People work their ass off. They eat shit for a long time. And then sometimes it's unethical. Sometimes they just got lucky, or not just get lucky. They worked their ass off. But, I mean, some people do get lucky. I don't know.
Caught you.
I know. It caught me. All I'm saying is just because somebody made a lot of money doesn't mean they're a Bond villain right off the bat. Don't
if
throw
you have
stones.
any kind of self-respect.
Speaking of Bond villains.
A whole bunch of people nowadays don't have self-respect, right? But if you're around winners and you have any kind of self-respect, you don't want to be the only broke guy. And you don't want to be the only fat guy.
Well,
you don't want to be the only guy whose life is shit, right? Because you're going to feel embarrassed. So if you hang around winners, there's a standard that you're expected to.
When I'm unhealthy, I'm overweight, and when I'm around fit people, I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm fat. No, I don't think about that because I'm not a wimp. I mean, I think people that have no self-respect continually have no self-respect. I don't think that's attached to the way you look or how much money you have. I just think that's the way it is. Look at how many rich people are unhappy with their lives and they have all these things that they're, are uncomfortable about or what's the word? What is the word? Resentful for? I don't know what the word is. Sohail, what's the word? Self-conscious. Self-conscious is the word. I don't think it's attached to money or success. It's a mental disorder.
I don't own a debit card. I've never owned one. I've never allowed my 3 sons to possess one. Certainly and truly the worst financial tool ever given to the American consumer.
Yeah, I think that's accurate because here's the thing is if you get charged something on your credit card, it's much easier to deal with your credit card company to get that struck from your bill and get them to take it off your bill than your bank. Your bank's like, well, the money's gone. You're screwed. It's like, wait, what? So I think that's accurate. Don't use your debit card. Use a credit card. It's a safer way to do it because how often? Also, it's much easier to move your credit card over from stuff than it is your bank account. I just had bank fraud with me, and I had to transfer everything to a new account, and it's still annoying as hell. So accurate.
Donald Trump, you are known for your terrible haircut, and now I can see why. Your hair sucks. You look like Justin Bieber caught on fire.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank.
Here's the thing is, like, what's great about this is I've actually seen a podcast with Whitney Cummings talking about this and how, like, Donald Trump, after the roast, after getting his teeth kicked in for however long the show was, came up to her and says, that was great television, which basically tells everyone out there he knows what he's doing. People that call him stupid, y'all are stupid. He may not have the same morals. He may have the different beliefs, but to call him stupid, that's stupid.
Hello, Texas business owners. Look at your content. Now back at me. Look at your content. Now back to me. Is non-existent content holding?
So
your
I looked
business
at this.
back
You
from
sent it
reaching
to
the
me.
next level?
And it's funny because this is how Google Ads and all that stuff works. I clicked on it because Sohail sent it to me, and it follows me all over the place. It's great. Good for him. Put a short commercial together. It's literally probably filmed in a couple hours, like him and a guy. Zero lighting. Really not the best concerned thought process to angles or sound, but he got the message across. Good for you.